Welcome back, everybody. Stoner Jesus Show. On Skype, we have Joseph Fan, author of the book Stop Masturbating and Start Living. Now, I'll make sure I get the title right, or the subtitle, rather. How to Go from Fappy to Happy and Overcome Any Vice or Addiction. There you go. You see it right there. Joseph, welcome to the show, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. So, obviously, as you point out in the book, you're not just talking about masturbation. You're talking about any kind of vice that people rely on or use to waste time. When did you figure out? Was it a gradual process or was it something more immediate? How did you figure out that, or come to the realization rather, that you were spending a lot of time masturbating and you were wasting a lot of time?
I think this was something I've known throughout my entire life. I mean, you can't go through life not realizing you're wasting part of it. It was really when I did the math that it really struck me how much time I actually spent. And just rough calculation, it was almost about a year of my life. I wrote this book when I was 29. I'm 30 now, so that was almost 1/30 of my life just down the drain.
Wow.
So I realized that it was something I needed to just, in order to live a super powered life. If you looked at my life 5 years ago and you see me today, I'm unrecognizable. I gave a TEDx talk recently at TEDx NYU, and I started off talking about how I was about to kill myself in law school. That's one of the things I do. I'm a lawyer and a real estate broker. And it's funny, I actually don't mention this in the book, but what stopped me from actually just jumping off the bridge, and if I went to law school at Cornell, and there are all these beautiful bridges that are really high up. It's a lot of people, they started putting up fences everywhere so that students wouldn't try to jump off, and safety nets and everything. So I realized that right before I had it all planned out, and it was all fueled, I think, through lack of sleep, a lot of depression, worrying about whether or not I would pass the bar, just all the stress that was just put on you as a law student, and all these student loans that you're not sure how you're supposed to pay if you don't have a job. And what stopped me was, it's actually pretty funny. I realized I had an epiphany. I said I should probably delete all the embarrassing porn off my laptop. And I had nothing but time at that point. So there's it's something I call the 5 minutes of post-climax clarity. It's this 5 minutes after masturbating where everything just makes sense, right? Where you wonder, what the hell did I just watch? And why do I keep doing this every single day, knowing that when I look at the clock, I wasted, I don't know, anywhere from half an hour to 2 hours or more, right? And what it ultimately does is it doesn't really serve us. I want to make one point clear, is that, like you were saying earlier, it's not just about stopping masturbating. It's if masturbation is something that inspires you and actually empowers you, don't stop doing it. If you actually use it and you use it positively, and you can, right? I'm not ultimately all about anti-masturbation or anti-pornography. If it really does empower you, then keep doing it. And you don't want to stop something that empowers you. Yeah. This is only where it's getting in the way of you living a supercharged life and doing everything you want to do.
Yeah, it's I watched the video you were talking about. Excuse me, and it's very interesting. What struck me is something a lot of people know is that no matter where you are in life, or where you think you are in life, or how successful you think you are, we all feel lost in a certain way, and we all come to that realization, at some point in our lives. Sometimes it goes bad, and people do go through with suicide, obviously. But a lot of the time, it opens our mind to see exactly what the problem is. And it's something, I guess, a lot of us know instinctively. Your message in this book, although you put it in a more, much more positive light, is basically, stop wasting time and get shit done. Time is moving no matter what you're doing. People have a lot of excuses why, I can't do this, I can't do that. But in the end, the result's the same. It doesn't matter what your excuse is. If you're not getting your shit done and you're not living a life that you're happy with, it doesn't matter what the reason is. And you either have to change it or things are going to end badly. and it really brought home to somebody like you, and you mentioned all the fences and whatever to put up for the people at law school. You think people at law school, if anybody has their shit together and they know what they're doing, it's people at law school. But it goes to show you that it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. There's probably something that you're not happy with, and there's something you're wasting a ton of time with.
Right, and it really all boils down to choice. If you make that choice you have to choose it. You have to finally put your foot down and say, enough is enough. This is the life I want, and I'm going to figure out how to reverse engineer it and get it, starting with today. You just have to declare today. Today is the day. I'm going to stop doing whatever it is that's getting in my way of living the life I love, and I'm going to go get that life I love.
Absolutely. So what made you eventually decide that you needed to go beyond just, quote unquote, fixing your life and writing this book and getting this information out in front of people?
Well, that last thing you just said, getting this in front of people, I realized that this is more important than myself. I wrote this ultimately as a guide for myself. If you look at the book, it's 42 pages of reading, and then there's some acknowledgments in there, but it's a 13-minute read, cover to cover. The audio version is 30 minutes. It's me reading it, but I'm moving pretty slowly. But the whole idea being, if you're tempted by something, you're not going to pick up a Bible-sized book, right? You only have a few minutes. You want to pick something up that you can just flip to and say, all right, why do I want to stop? I just flip the book open. Why do I want to stop? Why do I want to stop? Right? I want to stop because I want to live a life I love. And I really want to just get that message across to as many people as possible. I made the book $4.95, which is, I think, a few cents more than Amazon allows you to charge, because the whole idea was not to actually make a lot of money on this. I didn't want to put up any roadblocks to anybody getting this book. The ebook, 99 cents. And even those profits, the few cents, I'm actually donating half the profits to a nonprofit called the Association of Sites Advocating Child Protection Foundation. And what they do is they prevent child exploitation and child pornography, which is something I think everyone could get on board with.
Absolutely.
The whole idea being making this book bigger than just myself. Did I want to become a bestseller? Yes, I did. Yeah, that'd be great. Right? I'm an Amazon bestseller. But ultimately, it's so that people could actually get something out of it and have their lives changed. Now, I've gotten a whole bunch of emails. People have come up to me, people I don't know. It's very easy for your friends to come up to you and say, whoa, that book was so great. Right? It's when people actually reach out to you on Facebook or through your email and say, hey, just want to let you know you really made a difference in my life. And that's ultimately what I was doing it for.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely, I said it earlier, it seems like something it should be self-explanatory to people, and it should be something that people know instinctively, but it really helps to get in front of them that you are wasting a lot of time. Whatever you're wasting your time with, it's gone. Once it's gone, it's gone. You can't go to the store and buy more, obviously. And you need to, and again, like we said before about, start today. A lot of people do the whole New Year's resolution thing, and I'm going to start this diet next week and things like that. And that hardly ever works. If you want to start something, you have to do it now when you're thinking about it, when you're ready to go. Because if you put it off, there's always going to be an excuse why you can't do, what you need to do.
Right. If you want something bad enough, you're going to find a way. And if you don't, you're going to find an excuse. I didn't make that quote up. I don't know who said it, but I read it somewhere, and it was perfect.
So you mentioned that you're an attorney and a real estate developer. What is some of the other stuff that you do as far as your career and your free time? What are you doing with all this extra time you have?
So I'm a real estate broker, not a real estate developer.
Okay.
But I'm a real estate broker full time. That takes up most of my time. I also do law on the side. And I guess the type of law, I guess I would classify myself as a civil rights attorney. I help people that have been wronged by corporations or people in power, and I help them get justice. Usually I mean, I'm not a prosecutor, so generally in the form of monetary compensation.
Yeah.
I also run a nonprofit with my wife. It's called Street Action for Equality and Respect, Safer NYC for short. And what we do is we prevent, or our goal is to end street harassment by engaging men to be part of the solution.
Okay.
So the whole idea being, a lot of the existing organizations and public service announcements, they kind of villainize men for just being men. It's not like there were some public service announcements that came out a while ago where I found them to be kind of racist and sexist because they were focusing mostly on Black and Hispanic men, and they were kind of just villainizing men.
Yeah.
It just wasn't something I wanted to be a part of. And my wife, and she tells me that she's been catcalled since she was like 12 or 13.
Wow.
Which is not cool, right?
No.
Freedom of speech is important, but not where it puts somebody in imminent fear of danger.
Yeah.
Right. So many women are followed. So many women, they're just scared. And it's not just women, right? This is not, an organization does not just focus on women. Men are catcalled too, by other men, by women, but generally men are the aggressors in the situation.
Yeah.
And if you serve to exclude them, then, most of the people that are doing it are not going to want to jump on board. And it really all starts with educating. And same thing, it comes back to the book, educating. Really, I wish I had this guide, and that's why I wrote it, because I didn't have a guide. I wrote a guide for myself. I shared it with a few friends, and they looked at it and they said, "Look, you really need to make this into a book," and so I did.
Awesome. So the book can be found obviously on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Goodreads. Are those the best places to find the book?
Yeah, just through Amazon, though you could find it on Goodreads, and you could get the ebook version on Barnes & Noble, I believe. And I think Barnes & Noble can order it if you request it. So yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead and do that. That'd be great if they got 1,000 people requesting that they order Stop Masturbating and Start Living.
Oh, absolutely. As far as finding you online, like social media and stuff like that, where can people contact you at?
Well, you could find me in a lot of places depending on what you're looking for me for. For law, it's josephanlaw.com. For real estate, it's wingtiprealty.com. For this book, it's stopmasturbatingandstartliving.com, or the bit.ly would be fappy to happy. On Instagram, it's exchange defeat for victory.
Okay. And you also have a lot of videos on YouTube as well.
Yep. I one of the things I like to do is I like to review and unbox those men's subscription boxes.
Okay.
I'm really big into fashion. Growing up, it wasn't something I knew a lot about, and nobody really taught me how to dress well. It wasn't until probably when I became an attorney that I realized how to dress well and get my suits tailored so they fit me properly.
Yeah, you can't just walk into a courtroom just with, whatever you threw on that day.
Yep, your clients will get mad at you if you
Yeah.
do that, and the judges won't respect you.
Before I let you go, of course, I'd be remiss. This is obviously the Stoner Jesus Show, and we talk a lot about cannabis legalization and things like that. What are your views on marijuana legalization?
Of course. Of course. I've part of what I've wanted to do, but I have not yet, is join a few of those law communities. I'm part of them on Facebook. Have you ever heard of Burning Man?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm a big. I've gone to Burning Man 3 times. A big part of the community in New York City, and as you can imagine, we're all for marijuana legalization, and there's no point in legalizing. In making a plant illegal. It's something that literally grows out of the ground.
Absolutely. Well, that's definitely the right answer, in case you were wondering. So, Joseph, the book is Stop Masturbating and Start Living. Go find it. It's, like I said, a more positive version of, just get your shit together. Just stop wasting all this time and get your shit together.
It's a 13-minute read.
That's right. You're planning on masturbating. Use that 13 minutes to read the book, and then get on with your life. You know,
Exactly.
The time is now, as they say. Joseph, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you need to, you know, you have anything else to promote, or you want to come back on anytime, just get a hold of me. Let me know.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joe. Really, really appreciate it.
Awesome.
And have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thanks, Joseph.
All right. See ya.
Bye. Joseph Fan, stop masturbating. Start living. Go get the book. Put down the porn, the magazine or whatever you're going to use. I don't know who still uses magazines. Go get the book. Amazon, Goodreads, all that. Awesome. Great interview.